Good morning everyone. Well, you join me on the journey to the Isle of Skye on a June morning in Scotland. It's slightly overcast, but you'll be glad to know that the weather is actually due to be very good over the next few days while I'm up in Skye. So that was well planned. So we'll be leaving here Milngavie, just north of Glasgow, and we're heading up to Dumbarton, past Dumbarton, past Loch Lomond, up to Tarbert, Glencoe, Lochalsh, and on to the Isle of Lochalsh. You probably can't see them, but these little bloody midges, or the Highland midgie as it's called, are out today. They are fairly prevalent in the west of Scotland at this time of year, where it's been damp and it's muggy and there's no rain or no wind, and I can see them at the moment, and they're like mini mosquitoes to anybody that's never experienced them. They're just a bloody nightmare. So as long it won't be any bother to us because we're on the bike and they don't like wind, so we should be fine. So enjoy the ride, okay? And let's go. Okay, on my right is Loch Lomond, which I think we should possibly just hop in there for 2 minutes and I'll just show you a wee bit of Loch Lomond. That, peoples, is Loch Lomond. Loch Lomond, 27 square miles, half a mile to 5 miles wide and 22 miles long. At its deepest point it's 153 metres. So that makes it the largest surface area lake or loch in Great Britain. It's part of the Loch Lomond and Trossachs National Park, which was established in 2002. And there was a beautiful swan flying by there. So we're just heading up the side of Loch Lomond now, heading towards Tarbert, where we'll turn right and head off towards Rannoch after that. So we're now coming into Tyndrum, and on the right is the famous green Welly stop. A stop where many bikers, coach parties or whatever have a stop for a little coffee or whatever. As you can see, many bikes there. I'm not going to stop there today, but very popular place as you head up through Crane Lara to Fort William and Oban. So we'll take the road to Fort William, the A82. Just stunning. To my right is the West Highland Way, which is a 95-mile walk between Milngavie, where I stay, and Fort William. The weather in the west coast is supposed to be actually getting a bit sunnier, so it's a wee bit overcast at the moment, but we'll keep our fingers crossed and hopefully see it pick up as we head towards Skye. We're just heading towards Glencoe now, and the scenery starts to get very, very spectacular, so hopefully I'll let you enjoy it. Yeah. As we head up to Glencoe, here is the Glencoe Ski Centre. Unfortunately, this year has been pretty poor for the all the ski centres in Scotland with COVID. They've basically been closed, and we had a pretty reasonable winter for skiing, unfortunately, so it really is a shame. Problem with skiing in Scotland is you can either have a very mild winter or you can have a very good winter, and both have got sort of problems as far as for skiing goes. If it's poor, well, there's just very little snow, and if it's good, the communications of getting to some of the ski centres are really, really difficult sometimes. So you can have great skiing possibly, but you can't get there. The roads are clogged with people trying to get there. It's been a totally different problem this year, just COVID, just when just places have been shut, unfortunately. So it's such a shame. I believe that is called the King's House over there. Well, it's been completely rebuilt. It was a King's House hotel. Pal Dougie stayed in it, I believe, a few months ago, and was very complimentary. It had been razed to the ground, totally rebuilt again. So anyway, heading on towards Glencoe. On this A82 road we pass a small cottage, a white cottage, which was the home of the notorious Jimmy Saville. You've probably seen this on various social media platforms or YouTube. He moved into the property in 1998 and he stayed there till his death in 2011. The property has subsequently been sold, but there's been no work done on it, and during that period it's been vandalised a number of times, obviously for the reasons of who Jimmy Saville was. There was a debate whether the property should be demolished, but it was decided to let it be sold, and thereafter, and to be fair, the property wasn't the scene of some hideous crimes being committed there, as far as I know. It was hideous because of the person who owned it, so just don't see the logic of knocking it down. Has that been an option, to be fair? Because you know, it's a property, it's there, and it's done no harm, and as far as I'm aware it's not been the scene of any incident, so you know, why would you want to knock it down? But you know, certain people of the opinion that it should have been raised to the ground. However, we'll pass that in a few miles, and I'll show you that when we pass it. So what was Glencoe famous for? Scenes from Skyfall, the James Bond film, was filmed here, and also the 2003 Harry Potter film, The Prisoner of Azkaban, was filmed here as well. So yeah, there's, I think also possibly the film Highlander was filmed here, so it's very popular place for cinematographers. And as you saw back there, the views are absolutely stunning. So we're about to enter Glencoe village. You see these wee people stand at the side of the road with yellow jackets with a supposedly speed camera? That seems to be quite popular in Scotland. I don't know if it's the same as where you are, but I suppose it works in some instances. Apart from if you've passed it 2 or 3 times and you realise it's a dummy. So anyway, we're heading into Glencoe village, and I want to take a wee side route and just show you a wee memorial here. Two memorials, there you go. The morning of 13th of February, 38 McDonald were Glencoe massacred. This area on the orders of King William III. Carried out with government forces led by Robert Campbell of Glenlyon. 1992 major site restoration project was officially opened. The project was managed by the Clan Donald Lands Trust. So, this is an 18-foot granite Celtic cross sculptured in 1883. The cross is reverently erected in memory of Chief of McDonald. Ian, Chief of McDonald of Glencoe, fell with his people in the massacre of Glencoe. on the 13th of February 1692. The cross behind me was erected in commemoration of McDonalds who were massacred by government forces in 1692. Soldiers had been taking hospitality with them, but on orders then proceeded to massacre the clan chief along with 33 other men, 2 children, 2 women. On our way up to Fort William, we now head towards Lochalsh. Used to be very famous for its slate. There was quite a few places in Scotland that used to be famous for its slate, but I don't know, it became uneconomical to quarry it as such, and I think now most of the slate production in the UK is done in Wales. Heading off to Lochalsh and then on to Fort William. So here we go. So just to recap on part 1 of the trip to Skye, we're still not there yet, but anyone that's unfamiliar with Scotland, I'll just show you where we started and where we've got to so far. So if we look at the map here of central Scotland, we started in a place just north of Glasgow called Milngavie, which is here, and we took the A82 up through Dumbarton, up through Alexandria, up through the side of Loch Lomond, Larach, all the way up through Rannoch Moor, and we have stopped in Glencoe, which is our first stop. So part 2 thereafter.